Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys my personal top 5 favorite reroll builds for patch 11.23 and TFT Set 6. Now, I just want to preface this. This is very early on in the patch. These are some of the builds that I found that are very fun and also I found to work very well. And the other thing I want to say about it is that this isn't what I'm saying are the best comps, best possible reroll comps. These are just the ones that I personally enjoy playing in like Master and Grandmaster ELO that I found success with. I think they're really fun and I think they're good. And, if you like them, give them a try. So let's just get right into it. Now, if you're looking at some of these items and a bunch of items here, one thing I want to say before we talk about all the comps is, if you've watched my videos before, I'm a big hater of best in slot. It is the biggest noob trap in the world. I'm going to be talking about what the champions need. Don't pay attention too much to their items, but we'll talk about items. Okay, this is going to be the Twitch Chemtech Vertical comp. This is going to be a 7 Chemtech, 2 Assassin, 2 Bruiser Tech. Now, you don't have to play 7 Chemtech, but I'll explain why it is pretty good to play a bunch of Chemtech. So our item start is going to be glove, sword, bow, as you can see with what Twitch needs and some of the other items we got going on, but we'll talk about them in a second. Some of the best augments for this build: Knife's Edge, any tier is going to be awesome. I first placed a game last night with Knife Edge tier 3, such a free win. So Knife's Edge, instant injection on Chemtech is very good. Celestial and Thrill is very good because it makes it to where, you have a possibility of not playing a defensive item third on Twitch, although I do really like GA on Twitch. He is very easy to get one shot, so I do really like GA. But Celestial and Thrill is very nice, very synergistic with Chemtech, and Chemtech Overload is fine. And then after that, just general good augments are going to be good. I don't really like taking the Assassin augment because we are only playing 2 Assassins in this tech. All right, so the core units of this build are going to be Twitch, Singed, Echo, and then to a lesser degree, Zac and Lissandra, but the more important ones are going to be Twitch, Singed, and Echo. Now, the reason why Twitch, Singed, and Echo are so important is just Twitch is obviously the carry, and then at the same time you're rolling for Twitch, you can roll for Singed. Now, you don't have to get Singed 3-star. It's not required to make this build successful. It is nice. Only thing you need is Twitch 3-star because you can just rotate items from Singed to Mundo or Zac. So just know that. But the reason why these 3 core units are so good together is because Echo's targeting as he throws his ultimate towards the most units, and Singed tosses his guys towards the most units. So you just get maximum value. And then the reason why Chemtech running just like a full Chemtech Vertical is so good is because Zac does the same thing. Zac groups them together. And then Lissandra has a big AoE spell. So you just have so much innate synergy in the build that's why just running vertical Chemtech is so nice, as well as the buff is super, super nice on Twitch. A lot of times Chemtech feels a little bit fake, but just the synergistic of all, just how synergistic it is with Twitch and Echo and Sin just makes it to where running at vertical is very nice. Again, you don't have to play vertical. You can play Force Sin, you can play some other stuff, but I really like the vertical version, so that's why we're doing it. Okay, so Twitch items, you just need crit, so Infinity Edge, and then you need some type of shred. Like Last Whisper is going to be your best bet, but Giant Slayer is fine too. And then usually third item, you go defensive. I really like going GA. You can also go like BT or something like that, but I do really like GA. Twitch is extremely squishy. It's some of the lowest armor stats and defensive stats in the game. So I do really like GA third, and then hopefully you can get some healing from your augment. But if not, just a GA will keep you there. But I do really like having like Celestial or Thrill or something like that. Be very good. Singe, just tank items, and he's also a decent Morello user, but he's not as good as Echo or Lissandra. But if you end up having to play Morello on him, I played a Morello Singe last night, first place of the game, felt pretty good. But other than that, just tank, and then again, you can rotate the tank items from Singe to Mundo or Zac if you don't 3-star. Echo, Frozen Heart, very strong. You just put him right in front of the socialite every single time. He jumps back there, and then his ultimate is another Frozen Heart. So even if you get wrong side, he'll toss it in the right spot. Sojin, very good to get multiple casts. And then Morello, you can put a damage amp on there if you end up 3-starring him, but it's not a big deal. But Morello, very good Morello user. Okay, cool. So on this comp, you're going to roll on 4 to spike. You can roll it down on 4 to spike, like hit Twitch 3-star really quickly. But if not, that's fine. You can slow roll on 5 instead. Twitch is the only 3-star you need, but Singed and Warwick are very nice. I don't really like the itemized Warwick, but you're rolling at that time, so you can just 3-star him. It's fine. If no Singed 3, then rotate items, just like we said. Now, this is a tempo comp, meaning that it wins on stage 3 and stage 4. So you really do want to spike around those times, but you can win on stage 5, especially a lot of like sniper matchups, a lot of Arcanist matchups, you can win a lot of those for free because you're playing Sins. You just kill a lot of units and you can kill their carries really quickly. So it's not like it can't win on stage 5. It's just when you play a reroll comp like this, you do typically want to win on stage 4. But again, I've been first placing with this comp in Grandmaster, Master Elo. So just, take that. Cool. But again, your best bet is to try to win stage 4 in order to top 4. Okay, cool. I will be making, by the way, guys, I'll be making an extensive guide on this one because I do really love this build pretty soon. So be looking out for that. Or at least that's my plan. Okay, this next one is going to be Swain, Vex, Arcanist. So it's either Swain or Vex. You don't have to hit both. Cool, so your item start is going to be Rod, then anything but bow and sword. So Rod plus anything but 80 items and you're good to go. Okay, augments. The best augment, not even close for this build, is going to be Runic Shield. And then other Arcanist augments are going to be good. I don't like the on-hit one. Maybe the on-hit one's okay, but it has never felt any good to me. I've played a lot of this build, especially last patch, because it was completely uncontested until the end. But this one is going to be a little bit more contested because a lot of people are playing AP. So Runic Shield, I think, really enables this comp and really makes it very powerful, especially on the 6 Arcanist variation. And then after those 2 augments, just whatever, like Celestial is pretty good. It's a high damage comp. Thrill is not bad. It's high damage comp, but Swain doesn't really need it. So the core units for this build is going to be Swain or Vex plus a backline DPS. Now you can see the itemization I put on here. I just showed you some examples, some good items on your backline units. But obviously you're not going to hit all of these. And you might not even have all of these units. So just, I'm just showing you guys the items. All right, cool. So let's talk about Swain a little bit. So Swain, we just want to have we just want to put tank items plus an Ionic Spark, and he's good to go. If you have 6 Arcanus, he has plenty of damage, doesn't need any damage amp. I do really love Swain. So when we play this comp, we're going to slow roll on 6 or 7, on level 6 or 7, preferably level 6 and 7, you know what I mean? We're going to be rolling for Swain, Vex, and Malzahar. Now, you only need to hit one of those. So any of those 3, and you're good to go, and the comp will be strong. But we want to hit either Swain or Vex. And by the way, I didn't put Vex items because you just rotate the items from Swain to Vex if you hit the Vex 3 instead. Cool. But remember, if you don't end up re-rolling these, if you just hit all 2 stars and it doesn't look like you're going to be able to hit 3 stars, then all you need to do is just push levels and you can play around your Lux and Victor as a carry instead. And you don't have to worry about 3-starring these guys. You can just play these Scalitos in here, or you can play some bodyguards, right? You don't have to 3-star anything, but if you do want to re-roll, the only units you really need to hit are Swain or Vex or Malzahar, and you're good to go. But remember, if not, you can just push levels and then pivot to a Victor and Lux comp instead of playing a re-roll comp. So it does have a lot of outs, and that's why I do like it. Cool. All right, that is that one. I really like Swain. He's really fun. Swain, what I will say is Swain is a little contested because of Imperial reroll. So that's why we have the option of playing Vex as well. So just know that. All right. Now we're going to be playing Innovator reroll. I love Innovator reroll. It's so fun, but it is very contested. I found Innovators to be very, very, very contested, at least at the time of me making this video. All right, so your item start is going to be Glove or Bow. Both are pretty good value. Glove is, you need more gloves than you need bows for the most part, but as a scrap item, I really like Bow. I think it's probably Ezreal's best scrap item, and if you're playing around Ezreal early game, which you should, then I do really like opening with Bow, but I think Glove is the item you need most of, but just think about that. And then Sword is good. And then after that, tank items are gonna be good. Just don't go like AP items. All right, augments, Innovator Heart, gonna be super good. It allows you to play 7 Innovator. Now on this board I have shown here, there isn't 7 Innovator because that does require you to hit Innovator Heart. You won't always get that, and this is the 5 Innovator variation, but I'll talk about 7 Innovator. It's very easy to tech in. All right, the core units for this build are going to be Ezreal, Singed, and Camille. You only need Ezreal or Camille. Ezreal or Camille. And by the way, Camille doesn't have to be in this build at all if you hit Ezreal. So just think about that. But that's a little bit more nuanced, would require a long video. But cool. We're going to roll down on 4 to spike, or we can slow roll on 5. Okay, so Ezreal items are going to be Shred plus Damage Amp. So Ezreal has the problem that he can only hit frontline. And he can't hit backline until the front line is dead. So he's really good with Shred Amp. So like a Last Whisper, a Giant Slayer, and then Damage Amp. I really like Infinity Edge on him. But again, you could play like a Rage Blade here, but you definitely need a Shred. But I just like going triple Shred and then trying to get healing from some augments. I do really like that and not having to worry about it. I do like just going double Shred, Damage Amp. just so I can make sure I can get through every single front line, because, you know, if you go against a bruiser front line and all you have is Last Whisper, IE, you might get stuck on the front line forever. So I do like going double shred plus damage amp, but, you know, like Rage Blade, BT, stuff like that is fine as well, obviously. Okay, cool. So Singed is going to be tank items. And then again, if you don't hit the Singed 3-star, you just rotate the tank items over to Jace. Camille is tank plus 1 amp. So I really like Ionic. Bramble, just because I think Bramble is just in general one of the best tank items, but Sunfire is very good on her as well because she does dash around a lot. And then Archangel Staff is her best damage amp item. She lives a very long time. And if you get into overtime, she is leg sweeping for like 1400 and healing for like 200 per auto. It's pretty nuts. And then that fat shield she gets. So I do really like Ionic, tank plus 1 amp item, which the other amp item could be Titans, but I think Archangel is the superior version. Cool. So if you roll and don't hit, like let's say you roll and you don't hit your Ezreal, you don't hit any of these, right? Then all you do is just flex out to Fiora, Jhin, or Yone, or Jace carry. So yeah, you don't have to play Ezreal carry. You can just item hold for Jhin, right? Or if you have different items, you can item hold for Fiora, or you can item hold for Yone, or item hold for Jace if you want to play backline Jace. That's all perfectly fine. So it does have a lot of options to get out of it if you're not hitting the reroll variation. I do that a lot. That's why I really like playing Innovators. Feels very flexible. And then if you get an Innovator heart and you want to play 7 Innovators, all you do is the same board, except for you drop Fiora for Professor Donger, and you run him there. A lot of flex options in this build. Just play based on what you hit. And remember, you only need Ezreal or Camille to make this work as a reroll build. But if you're not rerolling it, you don't have to play any of these units. You can just play 5 Innovator, 7 Innovator, and play Jhin, Fiora, or Jace, or Yone carry. Do any of those things. So very flexible build. All right, cool. Now we are going to go to Syndicate Vertical. Now I actually played this build a lot last patch when it wasn't nearly as good. I know TF did get nerfed, but AP is a lot better this patch, and rerolling in general is just a lot better this patch. I had a lot of fun playing this. 7 Syndicate is broken. This is the most high roll version of this. This requires you to have a Syndicate heart, but there's a lot of flex options in this build, so don't freak out yet. Like, of course, it's 7 Syndicate, it's broken, but just hear me out. Okay, all right, item start is going to be Rod, Tier, Glove, plus Tank. Just don't go AD items and you're good to go. If you end up going to Sword, it's not awful, but yeah. Okay, augments, any of the Syndicate augments, like the Econ one, the Syndicate Heart, anything like that is going to be great. Healing, I do like healing because this is a high damage build with a lot of resist. You know, you do have some natural healing in there eventually, but in the early game, some healing can be pretty good. And then emblems like Bodyguards, like Scholar, like Arcanist can be very good. Very flexible build in that way. So the core units are TF, Darius, and then Syndicates. So we're going to roll for TF and Darius, but you only need to hit TF is the only one you have to hit if you want to play as a reroll variation. Okay, so TF items are going to be blue buff plus damage amp. Now, again, TF is a very good Morello user, and you can toss a Morello on him if you want, but there's a lot of good Morello users in the comp. So if you actually want to play TF as the carry, he's best with just damage amp. Okay, Darius, Spark plus Tank. Such a good Spark user. And one problem this comp has, since you're running a 1 cost as your carry, and he's a backline 1 cost, is that the build is kind of low damage. So you need damage from other sources, and Ionic Spark can give you that damage, and Morello can give you that damage. So I think Ionic and Morello are extremely important for this build. So that's why going Rod start is very, very, very important. Okay, so yeah, you roll down on 4 to spike, or you can slow roll on 5. TF is the only 3-star that you need if you want to play him as the carry. But Darius is very nice, and Zyra is fine if you hit. You know, don't grief your whole game for a Zyra 3. It's not that important, but it can be some nice CC and some nice, you know, sprinkle damage on top. Okay, you don't have to play 7 Syndicates, right? Obviously, if you don't get a Syndicate Heart or anything like that, then you play, if you don't play 7 Syndicates, then play around Bodyguards. You can play 4 Bodyguards if it makes sense. You can play 4 Arcanists if it makes sense. You can even reroll Swain in this build. You know, if you're rerolling for your guy and you hit a bunch of Swains, you can play Swain. You can play around Scholars. You can play 4 Scalitos. You can play reroll Lysandra in this build. Totally works. And also, something to note is that you can pivot out of TF to Akali 2-star at any time. If it's a TF 2-star, you can pivot out to an Akali 1. If it's a TF 3-star, pivot out to an Akali too. You do that at any time, or you can choose not to do that. That's fine. But just know that you can pivot out anytime you want. Now, I really like playing this build. I think it's very flexible. Give it a try, guys. All right, cool. The last one we're going to talk about is probably one you've seen tons of. By the way, I just want to say right here, because now that we're at the last build, you're probably like, oh, you didn't talk about Katarina reroll, or you didn't talk about X reroll. Like, these are just the comps that I like running. I am aware of all the other reroll builds. These are just the ones I enjoy playing, and I get excited about playing, and I've personally found success. Okay, now this last one, I saved it for last because this is the one that you guys probably have all seen because it was very hot last patch. Still very good this patch. And I left it for last because this is the one I play the least. I look for the least. I personally don't like playing contested comps very much. That's why, you know, you've seen some of the other reroll comps I've played. I don't like playing very contested. I just don't. I don't enjoy playing the game that way. I don't think it's fun. So that's why I'm saving this one for last. And I haven't played this one too much, but I literally first placed with this comp last night with this exact build. So cool. So your item start is going to be glove, sword, bow, and tank. Augments, Imperial augments are good. Dual rule is like kind of like XD to take at the beginning of the game because you don't know if you're going to hit. So that one's kind of difficult to take, but if you get it later and you get hit two, 3 stars, then it can be pretty good. Healing augments, I like healing augments, especially for Samira because she deals so much damage. And then like challenger augments are very good because you can flex to 4 challengers. 4 challengers are good in this build. That's a variation I ran last night. But okay, so the core units are going to be Samira and Swain. Need to hit both of them 3-star to win, but you can just hit one of them 3-star to top 4 typically, and that's fine. That's why a lot of people like this build. It's very consistent in that way. Very strong at 2-star as well. Also, you can roll for any of these 3 stars. That's why I have them all labeled 3 stars right here. Okay, Samira items are going to be damage amp, so IE, something like that is going to be very good on her. And then I like shred, blue buff, or defensive, or more damage. The items I have on here right now is the exact items I ran last night. Grandmaster, Master Elo. I ran IE, Last Whisper, and Runans. I like that combo. So I know what you're thinking. I know what some of you might be thinking. You're like, well, you know, her ult doesn't proc Runans, but her ult is an auto attack. So every time she attacks, it does that Runans. And if you're doing a Last Whisper, you're already pre-shredding people, and her shred stacks. So like her ultimate shred will stack on top of Last Whisper. But but whenever she does her ultimate shot, it will not proc her ultimate shred on Runans, but it will proc the shred from Last Whisper because you are critting. It's not an on-hit effect. So it should still shred. It'll shred double. So that's why I really like it, because you can start to stack shreds so that whenever she kills one target, she goes to the next one, they're already pre-shredded. So I do really like that. Now, blue buff, I haven't seen a whole lot of this, but it might be hot. It just wasn't hot last night when I was playing, but I do think it can be some tech. If you end up getting a bunch of tiers, you don't know what to do with them. Do a blue buff on Samira, try it out. Think about Yasuo 3 last year. All right, and then defensive item can be very good as well because she does kind of like dash into death a lot of time. So if you want to go a GA or a BT, something like that, that can be good. But I just like going full balls to the wall damage and try to get some defensiveness from my augments. I do really like that. Cool. Now you slow roll on 6 and 7 for 3 stars. Play around your emblems. As you can see, I only have 5 units on here. And this is just a challenger I prefer playing. I like playing this over Warwick that I can actually 3-star. I only have 5 units on the board, so you really do want to play around your augments. And you can totally play 5 Imperial. If you have 5 Imperial and you get the 5 Imperial in, you just drop Echo, right? If you have Imperial augment. And you can totally just play Scion over Swain if you're not hitting Swain and you hit a 2-star Scion. You can totally just play Scion. You can play 4 challengers. Just flex out to whatever your augments are doing and whatever you're hitting. All you need to hit is some type of 3-star, either Samira or Swain, or you hit Samira 3-star with like a 2-star guy up here, and then hitting any of these 3 stars over here can just be a little bit of sprinkle on top. Can be very nice, and sometimes your Talon can just pop off. So it's very good for top 4ing in that way. All right, guys, that is it for the video. That is my top 5 favorites and the comps that I've been using. Reroll comps for patch 11.23. Now, if you guys want more of me, I do stream at twitch.tv/TrajansTFT about 5 days a week. We'll be taking a break for the holidays. And I post TikToks and YouTube shorts. You know, if you like those kind of things, please give me a follow in there. I just started my TikTok. But if you already watch like YouTube shorts, stuff like that, I post the same content to YouTube. So you don't have to go over to their TikTok. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I post on Twitter every single day. It's updated every single day, and it's kind of lonely out there. But you know, if not, I'm just happy that you guys came by and watched the video. And if you did want to like the video, if you liked the video, that would help me out. And if you want to comment, I read all the comments and respond to all of the comments unless they're, you know, not worth responding to. But I respond to almost every single comment and I read every single one of them. So, and I do appreciate seeing them. And if you made it all the way through this video, then I do appreciate you guys. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the video. Appreciate you guys. I hope you have a good night. Hope you have a good day. And wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye. See ya.